Hi there. Thanks for joining me for this video. I want to talk to you about using the bounce feature of your Boss RC600 LoopStation. A lot of people are confused with how to use that feature. They don't seem to grasp what it's for, what it's intended for. A lot of people do though, but a lot of people don't. Anyway, what I decided that I could do was use track 1 to record an acoustic guitar and my singing and record a full song into it. Maybe about a 4-minute song. After that, you can turn around and pick up your bass guitar and record track 2, add a bass line for the whole song, and then you can add some percussion on track 3. You can keep on adding to it until you think you've got a complete, satisfactory song. Well, now what? You've got now 3, 4, 5 tracks of music that all mix together that you could, if you have a spare empty track, mix it all down right on your LoopStation. Mix it all down to an empty track, to a single file now, and when you want to transfer that out of your LoopStation into the computer, now you can have the separate tracks and you can have a complete mixdown if you want. But I thought that was pretty cool. Right there on the spot, play the song, add some other bits and pieces to it, and then mix it right down. I don't need any other gear, which is really cool if you have your own home studio or if you don't have some of the equipment that others have. This makes it very, very easy to make your own MP3s of your full set, singles, songs, anything you like. Other people use it to capture parts of a song while they're looping. I think that would be more difficult, but I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that's exactly what they do. Anyway, this video shows you how to use the bounce application. Let's get started and see how easy it is. If you are so inclined, please hit like and subscribe. It makes everything worthwhile. Tells me that people appreciate what I'm trying to do and I can keep on making more such videos. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you and some feedback and whatnot. Anyway, let's get started. Here we are at the RC600. I am in memory number 1, and I'm calling it Bounce 01 for obvious reasons because that's what we're about to do. Let's go to the screen that shows us the tracks that we're going to use. Track 1 is me playing an acoustic guitar and singing both onto track 1 using some input effects. I had some delay and some dynamic control on my vocals, and I had a different dynamics on my acoustic guitar for input effects. Actually, it sounded so good that I picked up my bass guitar and I came back and I added a bass line on track 2. Now, I turned around and put some track effects onto the bass line, and I'm going to show you that right now. This is the input effects that I used for track 1, and I may have used something to record the bass line originally, but upon listening to it, I decided to add some more effects, some dynamics, EQ, sustain on track 2. So that gives it a lot more punch, a lot more evenness, and it helps it to come through in the mix in a much more professional way. So let's go back to here. What are we going to do? We're going to go into the loop menu to activate bounce. Go into record, and I'm going to go to the right, one screen. Now, as I said, tracks 1 and 2 are the only ones that have anything on it. Track 3, 4, 5, and 6 I'm going to turn off. Now, bounce switch needs to be on. That turns on the function so that we can even use it. So you have to have that on, and here you're going to select the bounce tracks that are going to be sent to a new track. Now, we have to find a destination. So here, track, you can select any of the tracks that you want, and you need to find one that's empty. 3, 4, 5, or 6. I'm going to use track 3, and we're going to scroll to the right 1, 2, 3 screens. So now you see bounce in. That is going to designate track 3 as being the destination. So that's on. It's the only track that is going to be turned on. It's the only one that's going to receive the other 2 tracks. Now I need to start these 2 simultaneously. I'm going to use all start, and immediately after that I will hit record for track 3. So let's do that. There we go. Now I can hear the tracks playing, and I can see that track 3 is recording. Now, like I said, this is a 3-minute song roughly, so it's a long track. You have to play it in real time. You can't fast forward, you can't do anything like that. It has to play through at real time speed. So it'll take the whole time to make a track. And I'm going to stop it at the end before the tracks begin to loop. Normally, you're going to just be capturing a few measures of a song, percussion probably, or anything you want, and you'll be combining those into another track to be used for the longer song. So typically bounce will just be a short piece that you're going to capture together. It could be tracks of different lengths that will loop into the same length. So timing is going to be everything when you do that. You may have a track that's 2 measures, a track that's 4 or 8 measures. You might have a track that's only 1 measure. So you really have to be on target with timing when you do this, if you're using it that way. I'm using it to mix down complete songs. Why not? It's so much easier than turning on the computer, getting the computer interface on, get the mixer on, set everything up. You could be an hour getting ready to record a few songs. Using an RC600 this way is so fast, so easy. You spend more time playing and less time getting ready to play. A lot less time, and that's a big deal for those who want to really find out what they actually sound like when they're performing, or you want to just make a quick selection of songs to take out to the car. Maybe you're learning a couple of new tracks, a couple of new songs, and you want to hear how it sounds. So you can really mix it down, make yourself a WAV file, and then just quickly convert it to an MP3 and put it in your MP3 player. Here it goes. I'm going to turn up the volume so I can hear the ring out, and I'm going to hit the stop button just at the very end when loops 1 and 2 start again. There you go. Done. So now I can stop everything, all stop, and I want to hear just track 3. And here it is. It's an exact copy of 1 and 2, and it includes the track effects that are on track 2. And of course, track 1 had some input effects, and they're already basically embedded in track 1. And now, the input effects from track 1 and the track effects on track 2 are embedded in track 3, which now frees up all of those resources to be used somewhere else or some other way. Now that's pretty damn cool, I would think. So now I'm going to connect it to the computer and transfer these files out. I can keep those 2 original files. Okay, if I wanted to take them to the desktop workstation, the DAW, I've got this one if I just want to do a quick convert to MP3. Everything is here. But one more step remains. Of course, what would that be? If I change my memory to some other one, memory 2, 3, or 4, or maybe I shut it off so that I can rewire my RC to do something else, I'm going to lose this track. So what do you have to do? Everyone should know. You have to write to that memory in order to save your mixdown, your bounce. Otherwise, it'll just be gone. So remember to save it. And now you've got a good mixdown, And hopefully that clarifies a little bit about how to do a bounce. You have to select the tracks to send, you have to turn on the effect, and then you have to select a destination. Then you turn on the tracks that are going to be played into the new track, and you have to hit the record button pretty much simultaneously. You could make one switch do all of that together. You could use a sign to play tracks 1 and 2 or all start, and you could also program the same button to start recording on your destination track. That could use up a lot of assigns, but yeah, that does reduce it to a single button press to do all of this, which is really, really cool. So that's how I decided to use the bounce function. It works very well to use it as a mixdown tool after you've recorded all your other parts. It might not be something you would put up onto Spotify or let other people hear, but you can certainly make yourself a decent mixdown to listen to in the car and assess your own music. Other reasons for using bounce are pretty interesting, actually. Let's say you're looping and you're doing a live show in your song. You've got some percussion on track 1, some bass on track 2, maybe a shaker or some cymbal crashes on track 3, and they're all looping together. It's maybe an 8-bar loop, a 2-bar loop, and a 4-bar loop, who knows. Anyway, let's say at the end of the song you want to fade out, but you can't because you can only have one kind of a setting for the ending of how tracks work. But you could, at the end of the song or near it or during your performance, activate the bounce function and capture everything over to an unused track 6, which would now be an exact copy of your rhythm section. So when you get to the point in the song that you want to have a fade out start, you could activate that bounced down track and turn off the others. And now you would be able to have parts of your song fade out and predetermine how long it takes to fade out. I think 64 measures is the maximum, and it becomes suddenly a workable thing to do. That's something that I believe a lot of people have been having a hard time trying to figure out, and I think the bounce function is the way that it should be done. Anyway, I would appreciate for now if you could just hit like and subscribe. If you've gotten any useful information from this video or some of my other videos, I would love to hear your comments and feedback. Maybe I was wrong about something. I'd love to know about that. Anyway, I hope to see you again in a future video. For now, have a great night. We'll see you again. Bye now.